Hello, Namaskar, and a very good afternoon to all the viewers watching NCRT's live interactive session. I'm Simran Singh, and you have all connected with us through eVIDYA channel number 6 to 12. Besides this, we have so many diverse and different mediums through which you can connect with us and you can participate in our live sessions. And one of them is our YouTube channel. As you all know, it's NCRT official. And for this 1 hour, that is from 4 p.m. till 5 p.m., as you all know, we have our 5 days online training program. And the topic is online training on cyber parenting. So viewers, in this cyber world where we are all making the use of social media and internet on our daily basis, it becomes very important to talk about this area or cyberspace. And cyber parenting and the knowledge about it empowers the parents, the children, about the digital skills, the digital literacy that is required in their life, also to navigate with the complexities of the digital world. And today it's the second day of our online training program. Let's have a look at our screen so you get to know more about the training program and understand about the 5 topics, the 5 days that we have for you. On day 1, that was yesterday, we discussed about the generational perspective in cyber parenting. Today it's the second day of our online training program where we are going to discuss about the types of parenting styles in the digital age. Tomorrow it's the third day for the online training program on cyber parenting, and we are going to discuss at length about challenges and problems in cyber parenting. On the fourth day, the conversation will revolve around interventions and strategies for effective cyber parenting. The fifth day, that is the concluding day of our 5 days online training program, it's all about smart parenting, effective and monitoring and the surveillance that is associated with it. So, once we scroll down, you will understand that we have all the details regarding the training program, all the resource persons who are going to connect with us in this 5 days online training program, and also about the post session activity, that is the quiz link. So, we will be discussing at length when we have the last 5 minutes left in the conversation. But as of now, as I just informed you, the topic is types of parenting styles in this digital age. So, providing us more insights into the conversation, we have our today's guest. So, allow me to introduce you with the guest for the program of the day. We have with us Dr. Sayan Bandyopadhyay sir. Namaskar sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
So, we welcome you in the conversation. Sir is Assistant Professor of Clinical Psychology at Rashtriya Raksha University. Viewers, in this live interactive session in the online training programs, if you have any of the queries, so feel free to connect with us. Give us a call at this contact number flashing on your screens. It is 8800440559. And for these training programs, if you have any of the queries, so it's a request, please write your questions to us regarding the training program, mail it to us on this mail ID only. It is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. So, let's start the conversation. Let's get to know more about the styles of parenting and in this digital age. Why is it so important to talk about this topic? What are we going to cover today? So, all the details will be provided by Dr. Bandyopadhyay. So, sir, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. So today, in this 5 days journey, today's topic is types of parenting styles in the digital age. And before driving straight into the point, I would like to address that whatever I tell today, I suppose the audience would be different teachers, parents, even students, or any guardian or anyone who is interacting with children as such, be it any kind of dynamics. All the principles and all the things that we will be discussing today, I'll be talking about today, would be applicable to anyone who is dealing with children in any kind, be it their teachers, be it even the music teachers or the yoga teachers, anyone. So all these principles that I'm going to discuss today would be very, I would say, hugely research based. All that we have come to know about parenting styles, the dynamic of a parent-child relation, and everything from abroad, from India, all over the globe. Different research have been conducted in this scenario, and also going to the specialized areas or the special part where cyber parenting or the parenting of the current generation, current age of digital age. So all that will be covered, and hope you'd get a lot of insight regarding this, and it would help in, you know, getting lot of insights and understanding, and you will be able to introspect about how you had been interacting with your children or any child whosoever you come in contact with throughout all this time. And maybe you'd also get the understanding that from now onwards, how we can make things a bit differently or approach everything a bit differently. So just like any other skill, we learn different skills, right? Throughout our learning process, we learn different skills through our childhood, during our education, college. We learn different skills, daily skills like maybe riding a cycle or maybe even riding a car. So parenting also is actually one such skill. Right. I will. So, basically, before coming into the point, I'd like to make you understand what parenting is actually. Maybe then we can understand more how the styles get on with the digital age and how it's all dynamically evolving throughout time. So parenting is basically a skill which is that we will learn today. So first of all, we would learn what is parenting, different parenting skills, different parenting styles, and also the special area that is in the cyberspace or the cyber landscape, how our parenting can influence interaction of our children in the cyberspace, our interaction with them, and all of that, and how we can be a smart parent, an aware parent, and also how to be a cyber smart parent. So all this would be covered today. And so basically I will start with what is parenting, right? So parenting is basically a process of raising, promoting, and supporting the physical, emotional, social, and cognitive development of a child throughout from his childhood through adulthood, that is across the lifespan. And as per the American Psychological Association, there are globally there are certain goals. Okay, so there are certain goals that parents generally cater to in case of their child. Like, if for example, if we say that ensuring children's health and safety, this is one of the major goals of a parent. So, so that they can ensure that the child is safe, the child is healthy, all their needs are being met. Secondly, we would say that parents' role is to bring up the child in such a way so that they can be a productive adult as they develop, so they can be a productive adult who can support themselves, provide different skills, and give their contribution to the society, and also transmitting the cultural values from our parents. As we know that we get to understand our environment, our first exposure as a child to the environment is through our parents. We see through the eyes of our parents the environment around, the knowing different things around us, what is happening, different socio-cultural phenomena, like maybe some kind of puja is happening, some kind of rituals are going on. All these things as a child, we are very curious, and through our parents, we adopt this cultural diversity, be it in any part of the world or be it any part of India. And in this process, parenting education is very important. Like, as parents, uh, parents also, there is no such degree course as, right? Like, we do BSc or BTech or lot of things, there are courses, but as such, there is no degree in as such parenting. Okay, but still, such workshop or different other one-to-one interaction with special professionals, one can cultivate and understand what skills as a parent, who are already parents or maybe who are going to be in future, can culture upon themselves, that can be helpful in rearing a child in a better way, providing all the prospects. So parenting education is basically this process, so how one can develop the child in a particular loving, caring, and proper, stable environment. So that is very important. The National Academy of Sciences has also provided the four major responsibilities for parents, like maintaining the children's health and safety, as also APA, the American Psychological Association, has told. Also promoting their emotional well-being, catering to their emotional needs, their social needs. That is a very important aspect. Also helping them to socialize, develop their social skills, to relate with and interact with the people around, with the society, in people in school, with friends. All this socialization skills starts from home, starts from the family itself. So that is again a very important part. And finally, preparing children intellectually. How children can deal with different things in the world. Intellectualize or intelligence, as we say, is basically our ability to how we can respond to the problems and to our environment, to act purposefully in different situations, to respond and analyze things logically. So all these aspects need to be developed gradually and slowly in children. So that starts from the parents. This, as you can see, are the four C's of parenting. It's an acronym that has been created, and as you see, the four C's are care, consistency, choices, and consequences. Now, if I get to each one of these in a bit detail, that is, first of all, care. As parents, we are the primary caregiver to our children, and there are also secondary caregivers that might be the grandparents or the relatives. And then they go out where there are teachers, other friends. So a child receives care from lot of areas. But however, as primary caregiver, care is very important. Okay, as a parent, to provide to the child, to respond to them, to be there for them, to make a trusting environment for them. Next comes consistency. Often it is found that the parents behave or interact with the children in a very inconsistent way. Maybe mother is saying something, father is maybe saying the same thing, maybe in a different way, or is of a different opinion. So there are sometimes discrepancies, and also the child gets confused. Okay, so what is really they are wanting from me, or what my parents want? So that is a confusion that sometimes the child gets into. So consistency in one's behavior, the rules, or whatever the family dynamics is, the more consistent it is easier for the child. Or else it becomes very confusing, and lot of problems must arise from this inconsistency of parenting. The child says that sometimes the parent is there, sometimes he is not there. Sometimes the parent is behaving very lovingly, and maybe at other times he is not even responding, not present, maybe away for 4 or 5 days. So this inconsistency creeps in lot of fear, some kind of trust issues, insecurities in the attachment of children with their parents. So subsequently, insecure kind of attachment might develop if consistent behavior is not shown. So that is a very important part in the parenting skills. Next, coming to choices. Choices again is a very right way of approaching things. For example, sometimes we see that as parents we tend to impose things on children. Now you have to do this, this is the dinner time, this is now your homework time, this is, you have to take this, you have to take 2 bananas today, you have to take fruits, you have to take vegetables. Lot of imposing, that they are just ordered or informed that they need to do certain things. But instead of that, the approach of choices is very important to um, cultivate, I would say, rather cultivate the problem solving ability or the decision making of the child, that he needs to respond to something and take choices in life. Like, instead of just saying have fruits, he might be approached that, okay, there is a banana and there is also an apple. Which one of these would you like to have right now? Or giving a choice that after we have our lunch, what would you like to do? Would you like to read a storybook for the next half an hour, or do you like to do drawing for the next half an hour? Right. So such kind of choices helps kids to decide lot of things, and also is very helpful in developing their problem solving and decision making aspects. And finally, consequences. Lot of parents in my clinical practice, when I interact with them, it comes about to me like the parents consider that maybe a 5-year-old, 6, 7-year-old would not understand lot of things, but that is basically not true. Children are really very understanding, and if they can be given the consequences of lot of things, like just not telling them what to do, if we give them a understanding of why certain behaviors are appropriate, certain behaviors might be inappropriate in a certain situation, they understand that things. Generally people, maybe a child is hanging or is very leaning towards the balcony, or it might be unsafe, so such consequences must be addressed. It's not that I give him, just go and giving a tight slap or just scream at him, what are you doing? No, rather giving the consequences that the behavior you're doing right now might lead to you getting hurt. So if you do this, you will get this consequence. And alternatively, if we do this, then we will get this, we might get this kinds of consequences. So making them understand that how each of their behavior, how all of that can have a positive or a negative consequence, is helpful in providing them that ability to decide for themselves. Okay, so how I am going to behave right now. Suppose a mother wants the child to take dinner and it's getting late. So instead of just screaming or just telling, okay, it's now late, you leave the phone, you have to now eat it, it's getting late, come here, and forcefully trying to feed the child, it's often, I have found it's helpful to give them certain consequences. For suppose if the mother goes to the child and says, I give you this food right now, you will, if you take it right now, you will get it, hot, and it will be tasty, and I will also eat with you. But if you are late, then you might have to take it alone and it will become cold and you won't find it tasty. So both the consequences of him taking the dinner right now and if he's delaying it are provided to the child, and let him then take the decision. So these aspects of parenting, all that I discussed right now, the four C's, are certain very important skills. Now I'd like to come to the parenting styles. So broadly through research, initially three parenting styles were developed. It was around 1960s and 70s that researches were going on, and it was we came up with the three parenting styles, mainly the authoritarian, authoritative, and permissive. And throughout research in further decade, the uninvolved or neglectful parenting also came to existence. Now, this is a quadrant, right? So this is the y-axis and the x-axis, as you can see. The two major components. There are actually four, but mostly I'll explain how it is. So there are major components of parenting comes from the demandingness and the responsiveness, right? So if a person is high on responsiveness, that would lead to authoritarian or permissive parenting, and for neglectful and authoritarian, the responsiveness is low. By responsiveness, I would like to say that it is the warmth that we share, the compassion, the love, the expression of love, maybe through verbal expression or tenderness or some kind of stimulation, tender physical touch, right? All this way, how we respond to our children is what responsiveness is. And demandingness is basically what we demand or expect from our children, how we supervise and how we would like our children to behave, and the certain expectations we have from them. So that is demandingness. So in various permutation combinations, parents who have certain levels of responsiveness or demandingness ultimately lead to any of these four category of parenting styles. So the authoritative is someone who would be high in responsiveness and high in demandingness, would set clear rules, would solve the problems together with the children, will be open to more communication, So that's how an authoritative parent is, that there is scope of also freedom, autonomy, but there are also certain rules and there is open communication and flexibility in the dynamics and the behavior. Right. So that is one part. Next, if we come where demandingness even decreases a lot, but responsiveness stays high. So such parents are permissive in nature. So they are very much child driven. They rarely give any kind of rules or kind of conflict. They like their children to be. They don't get into any kind of conflict. They avoid getting conflicts with their children. Okay, so this is permissive. Next, authoritarian, where the demandingness is very high, but the responsiveness is low. There is strict and stringent rules. There is corporal punishment. The communication is mostly one-way communication where all the instructions are given from the parents to the children. How they need to behave, how they need to do certain things, what are they expected of, everything. So that is a kind of authoritarian parenting. And in cases where even the demand is less and responsive is less, that is the neglectful or uninvolved parenting, where the parents are mostly uninvolved or absent in this whole child rearing process. There is very little scope of nurturance or guidance, and the interaction is very less. Maybe the parents are out most of the time, they are busy at work, they are in meetings, and hardly throughout the day, even maybe half hour or 1 hour, they are not able to spend with the child. So that is kind of the neglectful parenting. And through research, what we have found that authoritative parenting has been found to be the most, I would say, a parenting which brought most number of better outcomes. A child who was in an authoritative surrounding, of authoritative environment, developed to be, in better skills. They had better skills, better emotional intelligence, better social skills, and they excelled better in all areas of life, be it their career, be it relationships, in all the aspects. But gradually in other styles, there is some kind of problem or the other we see. There are certain insecurities that develop in the children, or even they become highly dependent. They have a lot of difficulty in confronting with the real world. Now, with all these styles broadly as we speak, there are certain important components or different terminologies that have come into play, and that has come especially after this digital age started to evolve, and we get to know different other styles and behavior under the umbrellas of all these four of parenting styles. So if I first come to authoritarian, so there is something called helicopter parenting. So helicopter parenting are authoritarians where they get involved in every nitbits of the children. What they will do, what they will wear, what are they doing in the cyberspace. They keep on tend to check, the messages of the children or what they are posting. They also will instruct and get involved that don't be friends with them, don't go out with this, don't behave like this. So they they are completely like hovering like a helicopter around them, and the children's every action and every behavior is under the scrutiny of these helicopter parents. Now there is something called tough love. This terminology have come very recently, this tough love. So I would like to explain that with one of my own examples that I came across as a clinician in my clinical practice. So there was this one girl who came with her mother, and the dynamics between them were quite rough. And what I came to know was that somehow the mother was a single mother. The child's father had passed away, and the mother had somehow not got much of support from the in-laws. She felt that as a girl, when she was married, to a different family. The in-laws were not supportive and not very kind to her. So she developed this kind of a belief that if my child, like my daughter, if I reared her very lovingly, she would also face trouble when she would go to the in-laws. So what she started to do from a very tender age, she became very tough and rough on her. She treated maybe kind of even worse than a house help or a housemaid, made her work, made her, go through lot of bad situations, I would say, rough situations rather. But upon questioning and understanding the psyche, we understood that that was the form of love. Whatever she was doing for a child was out of this tough love, this concern that the outer world is not good. So I would make her lead a very tough, miserable life so that nothing is difficult in the outer world for her. So her mother herself made her life really miserable. So gradually we had to work on that, but this is one of the extreme cases of tough love, as we say. Then comes tiger parenting. Tiger parenting, as like such parents are very, what would say, very concerned regarding the academic excellence of the children. They would make them in the cyber context. The tiger parents behave like they need to take up all the courses, any platform, all the courses in YouTube, in any platform, all simultaneously, 5 6 certificates, 5 6 programs. The child is always involved in any kind of learning in the online platform continuously. So that is the way the tiger parent operates a lot. Okay, so these are some of the aspects of authoritarian parenting in case of uh, cyber, in the cyberspace. If I come to permissive parenting, so there the parents are mostly indulgent, like uh, they are permissive, and they don't have any kind of rules, any kind of strict regulations or rules regarding the children. They are open to take take any kind of course or do any kind of things in the cyberspace. They can download any apps, play any games, or do whatever. But the parents are least concerned with all those parts, and they are very much uh, allowing any kind of activity in the cyberspace. Right. Also, in case of permissive parenting, there is this other side, that is indulgence, where out of their excessive love and care, they try to get indulged in all their cyber related actions. Like they would any kind of filling up the forms or any kind of courses that they are doing, the parent would get involved in that, and they would do a lot of the tasks on behalf of the children. So in this way, the problem is that the child doesn't get to understand and learn how to operate or how to be careful or how to deal with different situations online, or the threats that he can face in an online situation. That is totally, the child is remains unaware because of such kind of parenting, which again has a very specific term, which is called non-morning parenting. Right. So such parents are uh, out of love and concern, they tend to do most of the work of the child, which is again not actually appropriate. Right. So this is overall what the authoritative parenting is, where they provide lot of autonomy, reliance, and also they are accepting, responsive. They set clear boundaries, but are also helpful and help them to develop their self-reliance, their self-control, works on their self-esteem, all those parts. And they also encourage open communication to participate in several responsible behaviors. They set clear guidelines when to use the internet, how to use, the time durations, and also they encourage them to foster healthy activities through the internet or through the online activities. Permissive parents, as I just explained, they are really low on control, low on involvement, and very extra and overtly high on parental warmth. And children, as usual, tends to become very dependent in such a situation. Such parents are what we call as digitally liberal parents. They're very liberal. They don't have any specific boundaries for their children, and they avoid also any kind of confrontation, criticism, or any kind of conflict with the children. And such parents have a special approach that is also called the laissez-faire approach, which leads to the excessive screen time and exposure to different, maybe inappropriate contents, and increases the vulnerability of a child. On the other hand, the authoritarian parents impose strict rules and discourage any kind of access to the internet or certain apps or any kind of online activities. But the problem which arises with this kind of stringent regulation over the cyberspace is that often, to bypass these strict rules, the children actually get into bigger trouble. Like they try to maybe use some kind of VPN or some kind of apps which are fake, which may be threatful, that might be malicious in nature. And to bypass all these parental controls or any kind of restriction, they fall prey into certain threats, and which leads to a lot of cybercrime or maybe cyberbullying that may come across. There is obviously high chances of being exploited by cyber criminals by usage of fake or harmful apps. And finally, the uninvolved parenting, as we say, where the parents leave their children alone while on internet, there is no kind of interference, and the parents are also not really involved or are not connected much with the cyberspace themselves. So it's like they don't even know or how to guide the parents, and they are not even interested to guide them or be in any kind of interaction with them regarding this. Now, coming to a different kind of perspective, where Alexander Samuel recently, in the last 2-3 years, came up with a certain kind of digital parenting after kind of studying and doing research on maybe more than 100,000 parents, that there are mostly three kinds of digital parents: the digital enablers, digital limiters, and the digital mentors. The digital enablers are parents who have are mostly like the permissive ones who give complete freedom to their children. Okay, they are mostly hands off. They puts their hands out and let their children be and take their own choices. So they are the digital enablers. Next, the digital limiters are kind of the authoritarian style who closely monitor the content the children are exposed to, and they limit the screen time and put on stringent rules upon them. So those are the digital limiters. And ultimately the digital mentors, right? So such parents spend a lot of time with their children and help them to operate and be responsible digitally, right? So they spend more time together with the children operating any kind of online access, so that the children can observe them and understand the different aspects of working with the digital space. They provide the parents provide lot of tools, lot of resources. They give them knowledge regarding the cyber world. Now, what happens? The children of the digital enablers explore the world online. They explore a lot, but they don't really have any guidance, or they are not able to develop appropriate skills that are required for responsible online behavior. So that part is compromised, where there is autonomy and they can explore, but the exploration has no direction and or has no kind of supervision, which may lead to different kind of threats that they come across. Next is the digital limiters. The children who develop through this kind of parenting are more likely to engage with inappropriate material because they try to bypass this limitation. So instead of going in the right way, they may come across different malicious tools or unwanted threats that may come across. And finally, the digital mentors, which even Alexander Samuel mentioned that such kind of mentoring is most appropriate, as it helps the children to develop their critical thinking and understand them. So she mentioned certain key points like the child should spend most time with the parent, exploring the digital space, the cyber space, the different platform, website, and this helps them to understand. The parents are that's why requested to spend time with their children, guiding them through all these online websites and using internet in different ways, and engage with them so that their resilience, their critical thinking, and their decision making, that what is right and what is wrong, what is the optimal way of using the cyberspace, that they can understand. The parents must promote kindness and empathy, right? So the children might come across cyberbullying or any kind of cyber exploitation, but the communication must be open so that they might uh, talk to the parents in that light. They might find some kind of resolution, right? So all these parts need to be addressed. So these are certain rules of thumb, as I say, to be a smarter, aware parent. So you can check whether you are a smarter, aware parent, or you might, inculcate such rule of thumbs that would help you to be more smart and aware as a parent. Now, firstly is focusing on the donut and not the whole. That is what I meant to say here is that we must focus on the relationship and not the problem. Generally, we are outcome driven, right? We tend to find the faults or how the child is behaving, what are the outcomes, but not the relationship. We don't spend time much fostering the relationship, strengthening the relationship, the emotional attachment between a parent and a child, but that is most important. Also, along with that, the second point comes that it be a thermostat, not a thermometer. So when the children are maybe reacting or misbehaving or doing something, you need to respond to them and not react to them harshly. So someone is doing something and it's like a thermometer, your temperature is going up. So that is not what a smart parent would do. A smart parent would rather provide a thermostat like environment to this heated situation, right? Holding space, a space where that heat or whatever reaction or any unfavorable circumstances there, it can be held and gradually looked upon and not reacted upon, right? And what's most important may not be what you do, but what you do after what you did. So there might be a lot of instances where even as a parent you make mistakes, but one must acknowledge them and never shy away from acknowledging those mistakes and talking to the children that yes, even as a parent, even as a mother, sorry son, I made this mistake, but this can be recovered, right? So handling mistake, even saying sorry to children is very important. That we generally don't do. We tend to take children for granted. We don't say thank you when they give us a chocolate or they give us a glass of water. But appreciating them, and also if you are wrong in some way, introspecting that and asking for forgiveness even to your own child is a very important or emotional hand that you provide, right? The parent's toes should follow his or her nose. This is kind of a sentence which basically means that you should always be active while interacting with the children. Be on toes with them, be very active, understanding how they are doing, and be involved in their practices, right? And the very important analogy that is, you can't give away something which you don't possess, right? If as a parent I am not patient, if as a parent I am not accepting, if as a parent we have certain issues like we can't control our anger or we get impatient, so it is difficult to cultivate them in your own child until and unless you try to develop all these resources in your own self. It's just like the analogy in a aeroplane that pehle first you need to put on your oxygen mask and they'll help or provide that with someone else. So first, as a parent, you need to put on the oxygen mask, that it cultivate your own behavior in the cyberspace or behavior in general. How much patient you are, how much accepting you are, and gradually you will find that the children are absorbing that. Right. So such an attitude that I am here, I hear you, I understand you, I care for you. So such kind of a attitude is very important, where the child is made to understand that yes, my parents are there to take care, they understand me, they are there to hear me, they are here to respond to any such situation I am in. And obviously, when a child, even if he digresses, or even if there is any kind of inappropriate or maladaptive behavior, so what a parent should do is act, ACT, that is, acknowledge the feelings, communicate the limitation, and target the alternative way. Whenever a child uh, get into some kind of trouble, maybe he was being very naughty, he was running around and something, and he falls down. Now he has a bruise, and generally parents go and say, "See, I told you that don't run like this. Don't you will get hit, you will get hurt. See now what happened." So that is not how you approach. Suppose a person is drowning, you don't teach them swimming then and there. First, you have to hold them. First, you have to save them, provide them a safe space. That is very important. So, first, acknowledge the feelings. If he is hurt, if he is upset, if he is frustrated, so acknowledge that feeling. Communicate what kind of limitations his behavior needs to be put into, and what can be the alternative behavior that can be done so that the same thing doesn't happen again. So that is the hand holding on the safe space we need to give, right? Never do for a child that which he can't do for himself. Try to make them autonomous, make them independent, and let them try to do certain things. They might fail 4 times, 5 times, but help them to learn and allow them to get certain skills, inculcate certain skills within themselves. So that space and time must be provided, right? And accordingly to the age of the kids, one needs to provide them certain choices, and depending upon their developmental stage, whether he is a 4 5 year old, or he is a 8 9 year old, or he is an adolescent, we give certain choices and see how he takes those choices, and then we need to guide them, right? And as we say, often compare with the analogy that we need to nurture the plant. It's not we need to focus on the fruit. We sometimes encourage an effort that, what is the product, how much marks you got, whether you won any prize or not. Not that, but what's important is providing water, providing that nurture and support and all that is needed for the plant to bloom in its full potential. And then obviously the outcome will reap, right? And
With all our viewers regarding the different parenting styles. And sir, I would like to inform that we have the last 5 to 7 minutes left. So I'll have to
right, right,
request you to please be very precise and conclude your words.
right. I'm almost at the end.
Okay.
Right. So, yeah. So this is all regarding the basic parenting, and in the cyberspace, to be a cyber smart parent, what is important is first to educate yourself and understand the digital landscape. Until and unless as a parent we are not aware and educated enough to understand the digital landscape, it's, as I said, it becomes difficult to provide something that you don't have. Right, so that is first of all very important. We need to be proactive in ensuring the child's online safety and teach the online several hazards that might take place, and empower the child to make responsible digital behavior. And if there is any kind of problem, the child should be able to communicate with you. So encouraging open communication, that no matter, okay, something went wrong, something happened, don't worry, I am there to listen and let's solve it together. So this kind of an approach is very important. And also setting certain rules, maybe certain boundaries of maybe not using online during late at nights. That is also intervenes with the sleep hygiene. So certain time durations can be controlled, certain parental controls can be done, and also encourage more offline activities, right? So not just training them online, but lot of games, sports, or lot of activities that can be done, and that needs to be done together. Obviously, as a parent, it's not that you just leave the child on his own, but together we can paint something, together we can do some jigsaw puzzles, solve some problems, and making them aware about the different threats that are there online, regarding money, regarding cyberbullying, regarding any such games or addictive games, right? And lastly, that I would say, be a role model. What you want in a child, you have to be a mirror. As a parent, you are the mirror to the child, and what he will reflect from you, that is what he is going to be. So whatever skills you need to inculcate, you want your child to be, first try to be a role model in that, right? It's inappropriate to say that you are spending 16 hours in laptop, mobile, and not just for work, maybe scrolling or maybe just unproductive work, and asking your child to, not even spend maybe half an hour or 1 hour in mobile. So that's not the role model anyone would want. You have to be the role model, right? So that is a very important point, and I would like to end with this, that be a good role model and provide and be a smart and aware parent,
Of course,
right?
sir. I'm pretty sure that all the viewers watching the program, they are going to take a note of the important areas mentioned and highlighted by you in the conversation. And indeed, parenting is a difficult task. And when it comes to cyber parenting, a lot of training, I think it is required, and a lot of understanding is required, along with the adequate time that is to be spent with the children in order to understand them better. Thank you so much, sir, for raising these important points and highlighting us about the different segments. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to all the viewers who have connected with CIT NCRT for the second day of our online training program on cyber parenting. So such an important concept this is, not only for parents but for everyone watching this program, because somehow we are all using cyberspace in our day-to-day lives. So it is very important to be safe online as well as offline. We just cannot deny the fact that we all live in a space where something can happen the very other moment. You never know who is there on the other side of the screen, what are the intentions of that person, because every person you meet online might or might not be your friend. And when it comes to the roles and responsibilities of parents and teachers, it becomes even more important. Thank you once again, sir, and thank you to all the viewers for connecting with us. So as you all know that it's a 5 days 5 hours online training program, and as I mentioned in the beginning of the program, that for the training programs we have our post session quiz or the activities for all of you. So let's quickly have a look at CIT website, and you can understand more about the training programs and from where all you are going to find the details regarding them. So let's have a look at the screens. Yes, so this is the website of CIET NCRT, that is cietncrt.gov.in. And in order to know more about this training program, just click on activities. Under activities, it is a workshop/training. So you will land on this page. The different kinds of activities are here for all of you. For current activity, that is online training on cyber parenting, let's click on this. And this is a dedicated or detailed web page for the training program on cyber parenting that we started out on 4th of December, that is yesterday, and we are going to conclude the program on 8th of December. Now this particular detail, that is who all can participate, it is with regard to the post session activity, that is our quiz. So it's students, teacher educators, parents, administrators, general public, etc. You can all participate in the quiz. Now the detailed program schedule, it is being uploaded soon for all of you, and one by one, when we are going to conclude the training program, the different sessions, soon we are going to upload the links for the training programs. Now how you all can participate in the training session? Step number 1 is registration. Register yourself by clicking on this link or by scanning the QR code. Do not forget to watch the live training programs on PM eVIDYA channels or NCRT official or the other different mediums mentioned for all of you. Now, the link will be updated on 8th of December 2023 on this particular page, and the participation in the post-session quiz, if you score over 70% and above, you will also receive a certificate. The opening date of the assessment will be 8th of December 2023 by 6 p.m. and the closing date for the assessment is 29th of December 2023 by 6 p.m. And we keep on saying that your feedback matters a lot, so do write to us at this Google form, or you can scan the QR code and you can write to us about your feedback. What do you feel about the programs? For any queries, you know the different mediums through which you can reach out to us. Thank you once again for connecting with us in the 5 days online training program. It was the second day and it's a wrap up for this program. But do not go anywhere. Next up we have our Sahyog session for all of you. And also an important information regarding the availability of NCERT textbooks. We keep on flashing this information in all the diverse programs that we conduct throughout the day regularly. So you can buy or you can purchase these textbooks whenever you like, and also the website of NCERT is flashing on your screens in order to gain all the information regarding the availability of the textbooks. Thank you once again and stay tuned for the next program, that is Sahyog. Keep watching eVIDYA channels. Namaskar.